This is a short presentation on the introduction of electronic assessment professional practice for undergraduate student nurses, eOARS, for the Faculty of Health and Human Sciences. So what has made us decide to introduce this? Several things. The move towards a paperless NHS and a paperless world, as it were. The other key things really about grading in practice from pass-fail to grading, the cost of printing documents, staff resourcing, the manual review of scores, uploading data to databases and checking from paper copies, student tracking, being able to better track their progress, and then things like loss, losing their paper copies, or I've got to remit scenarios. It enables us to look at QA and monitoring overall. It increases security as it's electronic and through a secure server, and it prepares students for nursing and midwifery council validation, and it also enables registrants to use the information for revalidation. So we are in the process of running a pilot out, and once the pilot's run out, we will be rolling out this September 2017. So our host for the electronic assessment is ARC through our Poppy site, which is a secure site, secure server. We already use it extensively for mentor registers and student allocation, and it seemed pertinent to continue to use this system. So how does it work? I've already mentioned that it's accessed through our Poppy site, our practice placement site. Mentors are allocated to the student by the placement area manager or clinical manager, and that way they are linked on the system. So it will be mentors on the mentor register, and students who are allocated to the area are linked. Mentors use their allocated Poppy password, and also so do tutors and students. Students will see who their mentor is going to be, and mentors in training, people undertaking mentorship qualification, can also be allocated as well, and co-mentors can also be allocated to students. So, how do we enter the site? There will be an email address that link to the site, but you will be able to enter through Poppy. You will put in your email address that is linked with Poppy and your Poppy password when you log in. So here we are looking at the first page. This is general information for students and mentors. It is similar information. I'm logged in at the moment as a student. So this information is already contained within our ongoing achievement record documents. You will see this available, all about the assessment, all about practice assessment, all about developing plans, score assessment, action plans, things that you are very familiar with. Evidence required, scientific assessment, what happens if you don't achieve, and what the expectations are of students in practice, and what the expectations of mentors are. As I said, this is already contained in our paper documents, and that's the first thing that anyone will see when they go into the site. So we'll return to the top of the page. So as a student, I look at my placement list. I click on my placement list, and it takes me to the list. Here will be listed every single placement I have ever done as a student, and I will click on to the one that is relevant. So here we are, this is the placement I'm starting at the moment. So I click onto that. The next thing I see is a pre-development plan preparatory work. This is the one for adult students, so the student would, once they have undertaken these key activities, will click that they have undertaken it in order to then click to do the development plan. This is the child health preparatory work, similar thing, click and click. And then This is the mental health. And again, the student can compose the activities, and they click to create a development plan. So here is our development plan. Here are the 4 domains. They are drop-down menus. We'll have a look in a second. Once I click on, it will, each one, it will come up with the information I require. So we'll look at that. So here's the professional values. Here's the indicative guidance that you already are looking at in terms of your placement area. If you want to add any specifics around professional values, things that you think are particularly relevant, or your mental fields that you can do in that placement area, you can add these free form. The next question, how am I going to achieve them? Here's some examples of how those could be achieved. This is being typed in as free text. I add that in. And you move on to them, and then you move on. Here's the second one, communication. And here we are. Again, the same thing. Same indicative guidance, things I might want to add, and I'm going to achieve that. Here is the next one. It's about skills. And here we have some tick boxes. So some of the, depending which year a student's in, there are certain things that are in there, but they are tick boxes. For example, you may not always be in a position to be able to undertake this, and therefore you wouldn't tick it. But the ones that you are, for example, maybe this one, and again, how you're going to achieve the criteria. Once you've been through each one and added your plan, you would save it, and then you would submit, and it will get a verification by your mentor. Now, you will have spoken to your mentor, but they will actually receive an email telling them that there is a plan ready to be approved. So as a mentor, as I said, there's the same introduction. You look at your student list. This would be the same for personal tutors as well. The list of your students would be on this. So here, as a mentor, these are all of the students that I will have been mentoring. Every time I have a new student, that will be added to the list. So the purpose of triennial review and revalidation, I can return to any of the students I have supported and assessed over the past X amount of years to select the comments, the information, all about them. Similarly, personal tutors, and also if as an organisation, the university has to look back at a student who may have left the programme, we can actually go back and look. So we're going to select Bart again. So as mentor, I'm going to select Bart. That's the student whose plan we've looked at. And again, this is me, Lois Griffin, and again I can go in, drop down the menu, have a look at each one, and agree, verify it. If I'm not satisfied, I can reject it. The student will receive an email telling me if it's been rejected and they need to do some more work. So that's built in. So once I've had a look, and here we are, I've looked at the professional values and I've noted that the student has added in how they're going to achieve that. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to verify. The student, once that's been verified, the student can start the formative assessment. So we have done the development plan. Once that's been verified by the mentor, the student can open the formative assessment screen. You cannot proceed to formative or summative assessment unless the previous one has been completed. So here's our formative assessment. This is a student's self-assessment, and if I click, so I'll go back. So here is my grading grid guide. It will come up when I click that button, and again, this is what you're familiar with. Okay. I also, if I need to, click in, sorry that's the grading guide again. If I need to, I can click in the guidance to remind me what the guidance was for that domain. So I can click onto that. Again, the student will score themselves, what they feel they rate in the grading guide, and they can add comments. They would then save and submit. Mentor will get an email telling them that it is ready to be viewed. So I've approved that, and I've added my own comments. And mine don't quite match these, and I would write comments to that. I would then save and submit. You will note that there's a bit here saying the mentor's name and date. When I click that, my name will automatically appear. I can go, then we would ask the student to develop an action plan. Action plans are generated here. So here is this action plan. I've said that students are not always systematic in taking health assessments and is feeling confident in taking assessment. So that's that action plan which can be reviewed. The reason why action plans are here, then you can go in and look at these, just these at any time, rather than scroll through everything to work your way through. And again, you can look at all students' history, every placement they've been in. There's a little create new action plan, and there we go. So we're ready to have a summative assessment. The student can add, again, all of the different forms of evidence are on the drop-down menu, and they can click in which ones they're going to do, and that is then submitted. So now I'm back to our mentor. I would look at the student's evidence, review it, make a decision, choose a grade, and there we go. So I'm just going to go back to, oops, sorry, I'm just going to go back here and have a look at that. So here's the mentor's bit. I have my bits in. And if I save and verify and decide that, then my name automatically appears, my mentor qualification automatically appears, and date I completed the assessment also appears. I can also add comments, and the tutor can also add comments, and the student can add comments as well. So the student is notified that their summative assessment has been approved. The personal tutor receives an email telling them that they need to review the student's assessment. So as a tutor, I'd go in, select my student, add my comments, as we do now. My name automatically is inserted in there, and the date is automatically inserted in there as well. And then the score can be recorded. That is a very short perusal of Introduction to Assessment. I hope that helps you inform. You can replay this again. But essentially, everybody who needs to have access has access. Everybody can review at any time. It can be reviewed with the student present or not. For personal tutors, in terms of speed of recording the overall placement score, ready for an exam board, that makes it a lot speedier. Once it's submitted, there are obviously deadline dates. Deadline dates will be built into the system, so what we've now called handing date for documents will be built into the system. If we're coming up close to that date and the work hasn't been completed, emails will be sent out reminding people that assessments need to be done on this, that and the other date. When an action plan is done, an estimated agreed date for formative is also set in. The same when you do a formative assessment, an agreed summative date is put in, and therefore students and mentors receive emails saying your date is nearing. Mentors can look back at all the students' progress. Mentors can look back over the activities and the comments they've written and use it for revalidation. Students' overall profile can be tracked and reviewed over time, and therefore the accessibility and the speed in which work can be actually done will in fact improve. Thank you for your time. I'll just stop this.